Hey, welcome to another episode of the Dual Agency Podcast. My name is Harrison Bocook, and I'm here with my dad,
Randy Bocook.
We are a father and son real estate duo, and we like to interview top producing real estate broker owners, team leads, and just top producing real estate agents in the marketplace. And today we have a very, very special guest, Charvez Miles with C. Miles Realty in Southeast Michigan. Hey, give us a little introduction, my friend. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good morning. My name is Charvez Miles. I've been in the real estate business for a little over 20 years now. I started in rental properties when I was 21 years old.
Wow.
In 2008, I got my license to be a salesperson. I worked for a company, did one deal with one company, and then worked for another company for the next 7 years until I started my own company in 2016.
Wow. So you got in. I have to interject really quick because you said 2008.
Oh, yeah. The apocalypse.
The apocalypse. Tell us, how was that getting in with the timing, and how challenging was it? Or heck, you might not have known any better.
It was definitely challenging, and it was definitely rough. Like I said, people that I knew, older friends of mine who were real estate agents, they were getting out of the business. The first house I sold was $6,000.
Wow.
And,
$6,000. Unbelievable, man.
And
did you have to reduce your commission on that? Did you have to reduce your commission on that?
Not on that one. I mean, the commission was already low as it was. I remember selling one house and I only made $187, and it was like, man,
wow,
I got in this at the wrong time.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's a great story. One of the reasons why we wanted to bring you on, and Charvez, I'm excited about it, is that you know this better than anyone. Detroit is used nationally as a real estate, bomb shelter, where they always talk about Detroit real estate being depressed and repressed and bad, and almost like they were trying to sell homes in downtown Fallujah. And I know that's not the case. You have a beautiful city with beautiful people that work. And matter of fact, you just told us before we recorded, there's someone here from Savannah in our area building a house in your area that you're working with and have them under contract. I wish I would have got a referral fee. But listen, but my thought on this thing is set the record straight to Detroit and the surrounding areas. It's still a beautiful place to live, and there's real estate out there to be sold.
Yeah. Detroit always gets a bad rap. I'm not sure why. We did get hit hard in '08, as with a lot of cities in the country. However, Detroit has some of the most beautiful homes in the country in downtown Detroit, as well as some of the inner parts of the city as well, not just in downtown. We have a lot of different historic neighborhoods that are world-renowned neighborhoods where people come and they take pictures, and they've been displayed all over the world. And then, not to mention, when you stretch out to the suburbs, we have gorgeous areas that are the area that I live in. I'm surrounded by about 22 different lakes.
Wow.
Oakland County is what they say is one of the richest counties in the country, whereas we have a lot of property that is very, very gorgeous, very, very beautiful. There's a large spectrum of property in Detroit, and that's one of the things that I like. You can go to one area and you can buy a $75,000 home. You can go to one area, you can buy a $750,000 home. And they may all only be within 30, 40 minutes of each other.
I'm going to tell you that might be a secret that these real estate agents, and his company's one of them. Hey, just act like it's not a really good place, and let's just sell all the good homes and keep the other real estate agents out of expansion and coming to your city.
Sure.
The auto industry kind of hit you guys a little bit in the gut in the last 25 or 30 years. You guys have a Ford Motor plant up there, a GM?
We are like the hub of the auto industry. We have everything here. We have Ford, FCA, we have GM, and we have a lot of different plants that produce a lot of different vehicles here. So when things got tough with the recession, then we did get hit hard, and that was one of the things that caused us to struggle so hard, because when they started laying off, that laid off a lot of our residents that had the money to be able to pay for homes.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, I want to go into, because you're broker owner of your company, C. Miles Realty. Tell us a little bit about the company. I know you said you started it, I think, in 2016, and you've grown it now. You have 13 agents. Just go into that a little bit.
So I got my license in '08, and in 2016, I decided I had learned enough from my broker and I wanted to venture out on my own. I worked for myself for 1 year. I had no intention of hiring other agents. I just wanted to be on my own. But what happened is in the business, I've learned that there are a lot of agents in the business that are making money, that are getting listed, that are selling properties and don't know what the heck they're doing. And so I decided it. I told my wife, if they can do this and make money and not know what they're doing, I think I'm going to start hiring and training agents so that I can teach them how to make money, how to do this thing the right way.
I love it.
So the next year, I basically just mentioned it, and next thing you know, I had 4 agents.
Wow.
So I started
Just like
out
that.
with 4 agents. We've grown now to 13. I have never solicited an agent. I have never put out any help wanted signs, but just based on personality, based on the way I treat the agents, we've continued to grow. We're 13 agents now, definitely focused on the customer service and satisfaction of our buyers, and not really focused at all on just growing and trying to amass a whole bunch of agents and a whole bunch of licenses. We really want to focus on the success of the agents that we have and the service of our clients.
I'll tell you, one of the things that you don't know is we have some executive producers of the show that they have fillers out all over the country. And what happens is they get recommendations from all kinds of sources of people that we should talk to, people we should know. And one of those producers have come back with your names on the list. And I said, that can't be coincidental that multiple people have come back and said, hey, you have to interview this company. They're going places. This guy is a go-getter. And of all places, Detroit, because Detroit had such a bad reputation, inappropriately, and that you were going to set the record straight and that your numbers are good, your people are loyal, your client base is good, you're making people happy. We wanted to tell your story. We think it will resonate. And us being in the deep South and you being in Michigan, you cannot think of two. It's going to be 80 degrees here today, and we're in April. It's probably 40. I think you said it was 40 something degrees there. Anyhow, we want to just talk about the differences in the two. Harrison, what else did you have?
Yeah, go into, because I know you talked about the team building side and how it's happened organically. What are some of the things you're offering to your agents to maintain loyalty? Is it really, really good splits? Is it good training? Is it a combination? Go into that a little bit.
So, like I said, I've never solicited an agent. The first few agents that I had were people that I've known or people that I've worked with in the past at other jobs. And one of the things that's very important to me is motivation. As a child, my dad was a very good motivator. And then I've been in other roles with the auto industry where I was a team leader. And I noticed that you have to keep your people motivated. And so one of the things that I implemented a few years ago was monthly incentives. I personally pay out of pocket a monthly incentive every month to the we call it the employee of the month, to whoever has the highest sale or the most sales. So that's one of the things that I do is a monthly incentive. We also do a monthly team meeting via Zoom where I try to keep everybody abreast on what the company is doing as far as statistical wise, and as well as we have a monthly guest speaker where it's someone that's an industry specialist to offer their perspective on what they do and how they can help us. We have a group chat where I'll keep everybody motivated. Whenever there's a sale, everyone gets their recognition on their sale or on their listing. So we try to do things that really keep everyone motivated, happy. Of course, we have very competitive splits. That goes without saying. I've been an agent. I know that you don't want to do all this work for a 50-50 split, so that's not something that I do. But one of the most important things that I do, and I started doing it 3 years ago, at the end of the year, I have an agent appreciation. And it's not a we just go out to a dinner. No, we have a really, really big agent appreciation. Last year, we rented a 10-room mansion. We had a band. We had caterers. And not only do they get to enjoy a meal and each other's company, but we also gave away yearly awards. So to the top 3 producers of the company. So motivation is something that I'm really, really big on, and trying to help everybody to see that they are appreciated in this company.
That's great.
That's great.
Tell me about, do you get into production and maybe even start it by talking about you guys and your numbers from last year, what you want to do in 2022, and then how do you decipher, are you just team lead? Are you in full-time production? Kind of go into that.
Yeah, last year we sold 70 homes. We had a goal of 50. We sold 70 homes over $10 million.
Wow.
So we did exceed our goal. Like I mentioned before, in some markets that may or may not seem like a lot, but in Michigan we can sell properties as low as $10,000, $15,000.
Wow.
And so anywhere up to the million. So being the fact that we did $10 million and 70 homes is something I'm very proud of. And when it comes to production, I love what I do. I'm a full-time agent.
Yeah.
So I'm a broker and like they say, I'm not only a member, but I'm the president. I get out here and I hustle and I grind. Anything that they're experiencing, I know what it is because I'm in the streets with them. I'm doing deals with them. Whatever market conditions they're experiencing, I'm experiencing as well. I haven't got to that point in my career where I want to just sit back and manage. I still get out here and beat the pavement as well.
Travis, do you offer a different split structure depending on the agent's production and their experience in the business? So if you get a new agent, they're on one split, a seasoned agent's on another split, or someone who produces at a high level. How do you work that out?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I start everybody at a very competitive split. That's something that some brokerages are offering, some brokerages you have to work up to because, I'm a small company. So I want to be competitive, but I also know what it takes and how it feels to be an agent. Mm-hmm. So I start everybody with a very competitive split. And then I have no problem with as you work your way up, as you know the business, as you don't need as much training and as much motivation and as much referrals to readjusting that split.
Yeah.
All the training comes directly through me. So I do the training. I spend hours and hours on the phone, on Zoom, on whatever case may be to try to train the agents. So when an agent gets to the point to where they're a little bit more self-sufficient, then of course we can definitely adjust the split.
That's good. You're in production, so talk about where are you getting your business sphere of influence? Are you paying for leads? How are you getting your personal business?
So I do a lot of marketing. I have found my niche in social media. I do a lot of social media marketing, Facebook, Instagram. We also have commercials. We've had 2 commercials that we've shot that have ran on various networks throughout southeastern Michigan, and really just having a good work ethic and a lot of word of mouth advertising. So marketing is the key to the business. So I kind of touch in dibble and dabbling of a lot of different marketing. Mm-hmm. And ironically, I personally never paid for a lead.
Oh, wow.
I just do a lot of marketing and really meet and have met a lot of people to where I never had to do the monthly Zillow leads or anything like that. And I've still been able to keep the phone calls coming in because I just stay consistent in the marketing that I do.
All right, let me ask this question about you're just as good, or you're only as good, is the better way to put it, only as good as the team around you and your administrative staff. What's your administrative staff? How's it made? What's it made of? How many? And tell us a little bit about who's the superstars there to keep the machine running.
Well, I would love to give you a story about a lot of different people behind the scenes, but because it's just a small brokerage, it's just me. Wow. And that's one of the hardest things of the business is being a producer, as well as being a manager, as well as doing social media. I mean, I do have a person that manages our website. But other than that, when it comes to everything else, I have to do it on my own. I wrote and produced our commercials. Nice. I usually put together our team meetings. I usually do our incentives. Those are the things that just keep me busy and motivated to try to make sure that everything is running smooth and that we can compete with some of the other companies out here.
There's something exciting, I think, about you having your hands in every single piece of the dough so that when decisions are made, you know exactly what the decisions are. Good or bad, the consequences fall right on you, which I know can kind of be a lot of pressure. I want to go into your social media strategy because one of the main lead gen platforms that we've seen from a lot of the top producers that we've talked to is obviously social media. And I don't think that comes to a surprise to many people, but what are you doing specifically to build that brand and marketing on the social media platforms?
So you have to stay consistent with social media. And I think that I have really learned the formula to successful social media, although I don't have as many followers as I think I should have, but I definitely think I've learned the formula. The formula is to stay consistent with your brand, with your product. And if you look at my Instagram, we're constantly filling Instagram with properties that we've sold, properties that we've listed, real estate tips, real estate advice. And then on top of that, you have to understand that there has to be a happy median. People don't always want to be sold something. Sometimes you have to sprinkle in a little bit of personality. So yeah, I'll show, a couple pictures of me and my wife here and there. We're enjoying a good meal or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think consistency is the key, and that's something that I constantly preach to my agents. You have to constantly remind people who you are and what you do. And I constantly remind people that this is C Miles Realty, and we take care of everything that's real estate related.
Chavez, I had a class yesterday with my buyer's agents, and it's so funny you should say that, because one of the things I harped on them is you don't have to constantly come up with real estate posts. Take a picture of you drinking a cup of coffee in the morning going, it's going to be a great day in real estate today, and post that. Take a picture of making breakfast for the kids, saying, hey, I'm excited about picking real estate, so it allows me to get the kids ready for school. It gives me the freedom to do that. It's about building a brand so that when people out there see that your name out there, you're posting a meal with your wife, somebody says, hey, call Chavez. He's terrific. That guy can do it. And it's not really all about real estate in your face all the time. It's just constantly keeping your name out there, so when they're ready, you're top of mind.
I want to go more tactical with it, because let's talk about what platforms that you are on. Which ones do you like to focus on for this branding, social media marketing? Because there's so many of them.
Curious.
And your time is stretched thin already.
Yeah.
So you say, okay, these platforms are ones that I have to hit to grow the business.
So I really enjoy Instagram. Instagram is my number one because it's photos. Photos are right in your face. It's telling a story. It's quick. People don't have a lot of time, and they have to see something, and then they're going to the next thing. So Instagram shows you a quick photo of a property or whatever the case may be. And then I also use Facebook heavily too, because Facebook gives you that other side where if you need to have an article or some verbiage that you want to express, you can do that as well. So those are the two main ones that I focus on. Of course, I have a small presence on Twitter and LinkedIn as well.
Yeah. I tell you what's funny is I know how old you are, and I don't know if you feel comfortable saying it, but you're in between me and Harrison there, and you're in between the Facebook, Instagram crowd. My crowd, I'm 52, we're heavy Facebook, which is young people like Harrison make fun of us, which is fine. But it gives us business. I have 5,000 Facebook friends, so that's the number they let me have. And then you're in that age group where you can kind of do both, and you see value in both. I'm not a big Instagrammer, but Harrison's a big Instagrammer. It pays off. Let me ask a question about when you have an agent that's not a cultural fit. When you have someone that's violating the rules or calling other people's clients, or just not a good fit for the values that you put for your team, how do you handle that? Being the only person in charge there, how do you handle that?
Well, I really try to remind everyone, not necessarily single that person out, but I try to remind everyone, people are always looking at you. And some people feel like, well, if I have a personal and if I have a business, and I can say whatever I want on my personal. And
no.
Yeah, you can, but it's not hard for a person to find you. It's not hard for them to distinguish that this one is this one and this one is that. So I really try to remind people that people are always looking at you. And I let my agents know, I've had clients from Prague. I've had clients from all over the world who have called me and they said they see me on Instagram. Now, they're in different time zones. I don't know when they looked at my page. I don't know what they seen, but they see what I want them to see.
Yeah.
They don't see me ranting and raving. They don't see me cursing out somebody or talking about someone. So I just try to remind the agents that you have to maintain a certain level of professionalism if you really want to be successful in this business. Otherwise, someone's going to look at you and they're either going to say, no, I don't want to do business with that person.
Yep.
Nice.
So I love it.
You've grown, clearly you've grown the business over the last couple years, and it seems like just from the numbers, the homes sold you have so far this year, that you're on a trajectory to far exceed what you did last year. I want to ask a different question, because you're on this trajectory of growth. What are some of the challenges that you see into you getting to that next level, getting to the 100 homes sold, or whatever that next level is, what are some of those stumbling blocks that you and the company is going to have to get over?
Well, right now we're dealing with the same things that a lot of people in the country are dealing with, is a lack of inventory.
Yep.
And with interest rates just skyrocketing, our buyer pool is going to change. Our pre-approval amounts are going to change, which that's going to be a challenge in itself.
Yep.
But one of the things that we always have to deal with, which is going to be constant, and it's really nothing I can do about it, is we're a small company. I'm a boutique brokerage. I have 13 agents. And sadly, a lot of people are not going to be able to experience what we offer because we don't have the big name. However, what we do is we continue to beat the pavement. I continue to remind the agents that we are here to make this buying experience pleasurable and as easy as possible so that we can continue to get those referrals and those leads and continue to give everybody else what they may not get a chance to experience. You know, I hear horror stories about people dealing with certain agents, and it's sometimes it's comical and sometimes it's just sad. But we really put in the work, and I really have a lot of agents that care about their clients and care about the business, so that sooner or later it'll start to catch on. But I can't compete with the numbers, but we can definitely compete with the service. And I know I have about 50 or so 5-star reviews on Zillow, a couple of 5-star reviews on Google.
Nice.
So, those are the things that kind of let us know that we are making a difference, even if it's just in a small section of our business.
Well, I think we need to preface it with, you guys are on a level that is far exceeding the rest of the real estate market and industry.
On average, for sure.
On an average standpoint, like, you guys sell more homes than the majority of agents in the marketplace. So you guys are doing a lot of the things right, and it's obvious that it's what you guys are doing with putting the consumer first, and a lot of that falls on you and your leadership.
Well, it all falls on him, and I'm going to tell you something. And this is the question, Chavez. I got a question: is how long can you keep up this pace? I mean, you're burning the candle both ends. You're a manager broker. Well, let me say this to you. You probably know we've interviewed lots of mega producers on this podcast. Every one of them have a full team around them. You have none. You have a team of agents. You're heavy in production. You're the admin. You're the trainer. You're the coach. How long can you keep up this pace?
Man, I'm going to tell you like this. I love what I do. I absolutely love what I do. I have a very, very supportive wife that assists me, that understands the business,
Good.
that likes the spoils of the business. So I'm going to keep on. I'm going to keep on doing this as long as I can. Like I said, we're really trying to make a difference, and it gets our business sometimes gets looked at in the wrong light. A lot of times, it has gone into just the glitz and glam of real estate, and everything is Ferraris and diamonds, and it's really not all that all the time.
No.
It's a little bit of grind to it, it's hustle to it, and you have to have concern for the people. We're going to make a little bit of money, yes, but these people can be in the house for the next 10, 15, 30 years.
Yep.
They may pass it down to their children. They may use this money to go on to the next stage of their life that they make from a house sale. So I'm going to continue to do this as long as I can because I love it, and I love what opportunity it brings to the agents as well as to the clients.
All right, give me one of those stories where you went above and beyond to get a client into a house that was challenging, whether it was from an approval standpoint or whether it was from the house. There was some
giving back commission. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of stories. What sticks out? One story sticks out in your head?
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of them, but I had a couple that I was dealing with at one time. And, we really had some challenges when it came. It was a very, very high-end property. We had some challenges between the buyer and the seller, of course, not being able to come to agreement on some things.
Yeah.
And so when it really came down to it, I had to be a mediator. And I had to, of course, take a commission cut. I didn't make nowhere near what I should have made on the deal. Mm-hmm. But I had to really be a mediator and try to keep things settled because it came down to a disagreement on closing day.
Wow.
And it was such a tense situation to where we had the buyer and the closer close at two different times so that they wouldn't be in the same room or even the same building.
Yep.
But because of circumstances, they ended up having to be there at the same time. So I really had to try to keep my buyer calm, collective, remind him of what the ultimate goal was, that he was getting a check, he was going on to his next property, and really just keep things nice and smooth and mellow.
Yeah.
So we were able to get through that deal.
We're therapists too. I mean, let's face it, we're therapists, we're coaches, I mean, and Chavez, I'm going to tell you something. Just looking at you, you're a coach, you're a business owner, you're a husband, you're a team lead. You're holding a lot of hats out there, and it's unusual. And the other thing I'm impressed with him is he's been doing it a long time, keeping that high pace up for a long period of time. A lot of people have burnout and get tired and stuff. Do you know how to turn it off? You and the wife take a vacation and come down here in the South where it's a little bit warmer?
Definitely. We definitely know how to turn it off. We like to travel. We like to eat. That seems to be a common problem that we have. But yeah, we try to, I try to turn it off. I try to take advantage of the business, and take a vacation here or there. We did Jamaica last year. It was wonderful.
Nice.
We did Cancun this year. It was equally as nice. So yeah, we definitely learn how to turn it off, take a step back.
Yeah.
And enjoy, and also I try to advise the agents that they should do the same thing.
Yeah,
they
for
have
sure.
to be able to enjoy the business. They have to be able to sell the home so that they can take those vacations and do what they need to do so that they can recharge as well.
This is going to be a little bit of an off-the-wall question, but I'm curious. When the house prices have gone up so much and people have so much equity in the homes recently, give me one of those, if you have one, life-changing stories where somebody says, Harvez, I want you to sell my house, and they're going to end up making a massive amount of money, more than they would have anticipated, so that they can either go put into a new one or pay off debts. Or you have any good stories about that? Because I know we're seeing that a lot in our area, of the values just skyrocketing and people being able to really put themselves in a different financial situation for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, I don't have one specific. I have a lot of them.
Yeah.
And I like to
Yeah.
think of myself as making a lot of thousandaires.
Yes.
I have many clients who have been able to walk away from their closings with 100,000, 200,000
Wow.
cash
Wow.
in their hand, from selling their primary residence. And that type of money gives them the ability to not only purchase another home, but put their kids through college, purchase second home, just be able to go on to the next stage of their life. And actually I do have one that just happened a couple of weeks ago. I had a client that came to me with a small 2-bedroom home, only 700 square feet, but we sold that home for $45,000. He went on to purchase his next home, and he was able to purchase his next home with only $15,000 out of pocket. So
Wow.
now not only does he have another home, but he's walking away with extra money in his
Good
pocket.
for him.
And so I will always and forever believe in the power of real estate, whether it's a small house, big house, 1-bedroom, 5-bedroom, through the ups and downs of this business. Real estate is going to always have power and give you the opportunity to do things that you may not have normally been able to do.
Yeah, I love it.
Hey, tell me about, because you got a business mindset, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to interview you, and we've been loving the conversation. But what does the future hold for you? Give us the 5-year plan if you have one figured out. Is it financial? Is it building a business? Is it a combination? Or what is your future goal and plan to take C Miles Realty?
So you mentioned that you got a couple of producers watching. I hope so, because man, I really need to get me a TV show.
Nice.
I really want to get a TV show to where it really showcases the reality of the business. There are definitely some fun times in this business and a lot of money to be made, but it's not always glitz and glam. Sometimes it's really, really gritty. Sometimes I go in houses and I got to look around the corner. I may not feel comfortable going in the basement. I may have to take somebody with me.
Yeah.
So I really want to show
Yeah.
the reality of the business.
Yeah.
But the 5-year plan is just continue to be consistent with growth, continue to meet our goals, and continue to help my agents to be successful. I want my agents to love the business. I've been able to see the benefits of the business. I've been able to transition from a 9 to 5, making very, very good money in that side, but to be able to walk away from that completely and do this wholeheartedly and 100% and still be able to maintain and exceed what I need
Yeah.
to live. So I want my agents to continue to do that as well as be as successful, and just try to continue to build our brand. Continue to help people to understand that we're here for you. We're definitely a real estate company. definitely doing this. It's going to the next part of your life.
That's great, my friend.
We have another connection that you probably have no idea of. Henry Ford had a winter home in the city that we're sitting in Richmond Hill, Georgia, which is right outside of Savannah, Georgia. He built a home here with his wife, and he lived here for 25 years or so. I don't know exactly how long he lived here, but this is where Henry Ford lived during the winter. And he came down here, and started to build a mansion and had thousands of acres and started schools, built schools, and did a lot of good for our little city here. And what's interesting about it is his name is everywhere. Henry Ford is on lots of things around here. And what was curious to me that his family, once he passed away, his heirs and family, they didn't want anything to do with South Georgia. It was too buggy and too hot or too humid or whatever it was. But we have a little bit of a connection here because you mentioned Ford Motor Company up there in Detroit where you are, and Henry Ford had a winter home here in our town. Harrison, I thought that was a pretty neat little connection.
Yeah, that's one of another reason why, and I think as well we've highlighted and noticed the marketing and branding that you've been able to put out.
Yeah,
built a very, very professional. Is the word that comes to mind
well,
to me.
Let me add something about his social media and Chavez. Let me throw this at you, and I had my team look at it, and they come back to me. It was authentic and it was clean. And that was one of the things I thought about. It was really good. Your social media is authentic and it was clean. It wasn't tasteless. It wasn't a lot of these young people now. You know what I'm talking about? The Kardashians out there that are posting stuff, and you mentioned it earlier, Lamborghinis and bathing suits and all that stuff that they think eyeballs like and all that stuff. But in reality, you're going to be dealing with people and selling their home. They want to know that you're out there doing it, being real. And if I'm going to hire someone, I want to hire a family man that kind of knows,
Was that intentional, Chavez?
Oh yeah, everything's intentional. It takes a while.
Yep.
It takes a while to learn it, but a few years ago, I learned that everything that we do has to be intentional, and it has to be almost plotted and planned. There aren't any. Oops! I accidentally posted that. I didn't want you to see.
Yep.
Everything I post, I want you to see and I want you to know because it's directing you back toward the business.
Yeah. Hey, do you have any?
My wife doesn't like that sometimes.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm curious. Do you have any mentors? Anybody you look up in the business? Because you're such on a road, like a lone wolf out there almost.
Who teaches you? You're on your own. Who teaches you? Where do you get your information?
I had it's funny that you mentioned that. When I first started the business, I did one deal with one of the major companies I won't mention, but the commission split was so bad I left. And after that, I joined a company called River Point Realty in Detroit, downtown Detroit, and I had two very, very good mentors, two older brokers that had been in the business for 30-some years. And sadly, I just went to the funeral of one of my mentors about 2 weeks ago. It was a gentleman that was very instrumental in assisting me. His name was Bill Neighbors, and his partner, Judy Walker. They were very instrumental in mentoring me in the beginning. Just helping me to learn the ropes. They were straight business. They were old school. You have to come in the office. We got to talk between 9 and 5. This is what
MLS
it is.
books.
And so, they kind of...
Yeah.
They taught me the ropes, just, really all the hardcore gritty stuff that we really had to know then that's helping now. Things have gotten a little bit more pretty now and a little bit more prissy, but then I learned it the old school hard way.
They're the kind of broker I know because I've been around it and I'm old. The kind of broker that would say, this internet thing might be a fad. It might go away. Yeah.
Exactly. And I'll tell you a funny story. Nobody seems to believe me, but I was one of the first people to post properties on Facebook. And my broker, Willie Neighbors, the guy that just died, he would agree with me because when Facebook was brand new in 2009, I got my license in 2008. In 2009, when Facebook was brand, I came to my broker and I said, people are putting for sale, that we're putting sold signs on the properties when we sell them. Why not put it on the internet? And he looking at me, he's like, I don't care. I don't think it's gonna do nothing, but go
try
ahead,
it.
Whatever you want to do.
Go try it, whippersnapper.
Man, I started putting stuff on the internet, and people were laughing at me like, "Why are you putting that on there? Nobody wants to see that. Nobody cares."
Yeah.
So I tell my agents now, I'm one of the first people that was putting properties on Facebook.
You're
they
a
don't
pioneer.
believe me, but every now and then, I'll get a a memory that'll pop up from 2009. It'll show a property that I sold, or a memory from 2010. This property sold for $8,700, and then maybe they start to believe just a little bit that I was one of the first ones to start doing it. Now everybody's doing it, of course.
Sharvez, one of the things I want to ask you, which I'm very motivated about, is you have decided to help people regardless of the price. And you got a young couple or an older couple, and their home is worth $8,700, not $87,000, not $870,000, but their home is worth $8,700. Do you give them the same level of service all the way through?
Definitely. People are people.
Yeah.
And they deserve respect, and they deserve service at whatever level. And so I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to still offer them marketing. I'm going to still offer them whatever I can to be able to sell the house, to be able to assist them the best way we can.
Love it.
Because it's not always about the price. And that's something that, again, we have to help the newer agents to realize. We're never going to get rich off of just that one deal. We're going to search for that one deal. And even if we get it, it's gone. We're gonna be successful in numbers and in quantity, and not just making that one massive $1 million deal that we're all in search for.
All right, so I know we can take your whole day. We don't want to, but in closing, let's ask you the loaded question here. What would you want people to know about your company and your brand? And if they wanted to join you, we're going to put your contact information in the show notes and stuff when we post this, so they'll be able to contact you directly. We'll put the information in there. But what would you want people to know that sees this interview and they go, "Hey, I didn't know that about him. I want to go to work for him"?
I don't think I can tell you anything new that I haven't told you. There's no special formula. What I offer is myself. I offer tons and tons of experience. I sold over 300 houses before I even started the company.
Wow.
And now with the company, we're probably somewhere over 500 or so houses.
Yeah.
And each one of those properties comes with a different level of experience. No two deals are the same. And when I don't specialize in an area, people ask me, what area do you specialize in? I don't.
All of Michigan. You can sell homes in all of Michigan, right?
I sell all of Michigan. I sell Detroit. I sell 10,000. I sell 10 million.
Yeah.
And at the levels of sales, you're going to get different experience with each one. So I offer a wealth of experience that a lot of agents, a lot of brokers don't have. And I offer myself being available. And that's something that a lot of the companies don't offer as well. They don't have a person that you can go to, that you can ask, that you can talk to, that you can complain to. And, that's a gift and a curse. I make myself available because no one else does.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it also sometimes makes people feel a little bit better and a little bit more confident about working with me or working with my staff as well.
That's great. Well, hey, we don't want to take up too much of your time. It's been a great conversation. C Miles Realty. It's obvious you guys are going to go really good places.
This is interesting. This is his audition tape for HGTV. We're going to launch your career. We're going to launch your career. Once people see this, they're going to say, "Hey, I want to film this. This is going to be good." We appreciate your time, my friend. Thank you for giving us all this information and sharing it with us. I think you're going to have a lot of people reach out to you. I really feel like that. What do you think, Harrison?
I agree. Good story, authentic.
Yeah.
And we love seeing somebody that's on a really good growth trajectory.
Yep.
And following and mapping that journey, because let's keep it rolling, because we're trying to do the same thing. It's all about momentum.
Well, let's keep the relationship. You need anything from us, reach out to us. And welcome to the Dual Agency family. Top producers in this podcast, and we're very excited that you took some time with us today.
Thanks, my friend.
Thanks,
Appreciate
brother.
it.
Thank you. You guys have a good day.